I haven't had that kind of experience and since I played in a band, which was 7 years ago. So.
What are you looking? What kind of atmospheres or images is it? What triggers something inside of you?
I mean, I'm definitely. I know that I'm influenced by just very desolate, just beautiful kind of landscapes and things like that, and also kind of big cities and architecture. Just anything that is just kind of not I guess everyday normal for me. It's just anything that's kind of just amazing in itself. I mean, when I come to Europe, I mean the difference between architecture in Europe and the United States is just completely apparent, and it's always just kind of overwhelming to look at. So.
Can you name some places that you visited that definitely had an impact on this album, the new album?
Well, I mean, it's easiest to say that, it's definitely, the state of Washington, which is where I recorded. It's just very mountainy. It's, it's in the middle of, the studio is in the middle of nowhere, and it's just kind of, really kind of inspiring that way. Just kind of being in a really peaceful setting, in a really green, with just really tall trees everywhere, and that kind of thing is definitely a very inspiring thing.
But you already wrote the songs probably then before you went there, or?
Yeah, but I mean there was still tracking and more writing being done in the studio, and more inspiration that kind of happens out of the songs, from the experiences happening there. I mean everything's kind of roughly like the structure of songs are there, but maybe not every melody and maybe not every kind of approach, and things get switched around and stuff like that once we get into the studio. So, I mean,
how big is the time span you write, music for such an album? Is it like stretched over a year? Or
well, this one was about 3 years, about 3 years, yeah, that I spent working on it. Through the writer's block fiasco and through the everything else, and so this one took quite some time. Yeah.
But was there in that moment, in that period, a moment where you thought, well, hey, you saw yourself lifting up again in the right direction? And
yeah, and that was the moment where I brought my band. I made the decision to bring the guys that had played with me for 7 years into the process, and it just kind of, it really kind of, excuse me, the songs really kind of came to life there. And I got to see them in a different way, and I got to kind of feel that they were doing, different things, and kind of like really feel like what the songs were kind of, what was happening with them. So.
What did you discover in your songs?
I mean, it's just it's really hard to tell, I guess, but just that I mean my normal working, routine with making a record has always been, demoing at home and writing things and coming up with parts and all that kind of stuff, and then going into the studio and doing the same, and basically recreating what I kind of did at home, and then coming up with more stuff and new things and stuff like that. And then after that's all is said and done, and the record's done, then I meet with the band, and then they have the songs and they've learned everything, and then we start performing. So this time it was totally different because it started out the totally opposite way. We went in and we started working the songs out live and hearing them. And for me, hearing them that kind of way, because it was kind of a little more exciting, because I hadn't, it felt like I was in a band again, and we kind of came together and we were like practicing and making new songs. I haven't had that kind of experience, and since I played in a band, which was 7 years ago. So. It was kind of nice that way.
But were you always confident that this way would turn out the way you would like it, or were you a little bit afraid also bringing other people in that would mess up stuff?
Definitely afraid, but I know that I'm still, I know I'm still very controlling, with the music, and I'm still like the band leader, and I'm still like the main songwriter, and so I knew that if it wasn't right, I would fix it myself or something like that. I still had my hands in every single part of the record.
But what did you tell? The people? how far could they go?
Oh, I mean, they could go as far as they wanted to. I mean, whether it was used or not, you know, was kind of the deal. But I mean, I think every part that was written by somebody else, you know, we still worked on it like more after the fact. You know, he had like a really good idea, and then we would work together to make that idea a little bit better or a little bit more like I wanted it or something like that.